It began on an ordinary evening, one that would leave behind an extraordinary mystery. The waves of Somerton Beach whispered their eternal rhythm, the sky dimmed to a quiet twilight, and the seaside town of Adelaide settled into its usual slumber. But as dawn broke the next morning, a discovery shattered the tranquility. A discovery so strange, so inexplicable, that it would baffle detectives, scientists, and the public for decades to come. The lifeless body of a man, resting upright against a seawall, immaculately dressed in a tailored suit and polished shoes. No signs of struggle, no signs of identification, not a name, not a label, not even a single thread leading to who he was. And then there was the slip of paper, a cryptic fragment torn from a book that whispered the haunting words, Tamám Shud. This is not the beginning of an ordinary investigation. It's the opening chapter of a puzzle so deep that even time cannot unravel it. A riddle of life and death, written in shadows and sealed in silence. Step closer if you dare, as we unravel the threads of one of history's most chilling unsolved mysteries, the enigma of the Somerton Man. The early hours of December 1st, 1948, brought a calm breeze to Somerton Beach, located near Adelaide, Australia. A fisherman, pacing the shore at dawn, noticed a man slumped against the seawall. At first glance, the scene seemed ordinary, someone sleeping off a long night. Yet, as the fisherman approached, he realized something was terribly wrong. The man, dressed immaculately in a suit and tie, had no signs of injury. His body was positioned strangely, his head propped against the wall as if gazing at the horizon. The soft sand bore no marks of a struggle. Local authorities were called to the scene, where they uncovered the first puzzle in a series of unexplainable events. All the labels had been meticulously removed from his clothing. The autopsy revealed no cause of death. Poison was suspected, yet no traces were found in his system. Then came another revelation, a secret hidden in the man's pocket. A tiny rolled-up slip of paper was discovered, bearing two cryptic words, Tamám Shud. Translating from Persian to ended or finished, the words were torn from a rare copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a book of poetry with themes of existentialism and the fleeting nature of life. This clue sparked a flurry of speculation. Was this a suicide note or a sinister calling card left by someone else? Investigators sought the source of the page, but the mystery deepened when they located the book itself, a discarded copy in the backseat of an unlocked car parked nearby. Inside the book was an additional enigma. Scribbled in faint pencil on its back cover was a series of letters, seemingly random at first glance. Investigators speculated that the letters formed a cipher, possibly connected to espionage, a plausible theory given the tensions of the Cold War. The sequence read WRGOABABDMLIAO Despite decades of analysis, cryptographers and amateur sleuths alike have failed to definitively crack the code. Could it hold the key to the man's identity? Or was it a decoy to lead investigators astray? Days later, a suitcase was traced to the Somerton Man, discovered at the Adelaide railway station. Inside were neatly packed clothes, tools, and a small tube of an unusual type of wax. Like his clothing, every label in the suitcase had been removed, except for a single tag with the name T. Keane. However, no one named Keane was reported missing, and the name yielded no further clues. The items themselves were mundane, yet unnervingly deliberate. Whoever this man was, he had gone to great lengths to erase his identity. As the case gained attention, a nurse named Jessica Thompson came forward. She had lived nearby and claimed to have no connection to the man, yet her reaction upon seeing his bust was peculiar. She nearly fainted. In Jessica's possession was another copy of the Rubaiyat, gifted to her years prior by an unknown man. She dismissed the connection, but investigators found her evasiveness suspicious. Rumors swirled that Jessica might have been a spy or had a romantic connection to the Somerton Man. However, she took her secrets to the grave, leaving a web of unanswered questions. Decades passed with no resolution. DNA testing on hairs found in a plaster cast of the man suggested European descent, but his identity remained elusive. Speculation ranged from espionage to an elaborate act of personal reinvention. The Somerton Man's grave, marked "Known unto God," became a symbol of one of the greatest mysteries in Australian history. New leads occasionally emerged, yet the trail always grew cold. Was he a spy, a fugitive, or simply someone who chose to vanish from the world? The Tamám Shud case remains a haunting puzzle that defies explanation. Each clue, carefully placed yet maddeningly opaque, feeds a sense of something larger, a narrative tantalizingly out of reach. Was it a game of intrigue or a tragedy of isolation? The truth, like the man himself, lies buried in shadows. The Tamám Shud case became a breeding ground for conspiracy theories and hypotheses, each more intriguing than the last. As the public and investigators alike grappled with the enigma, several prevailing ideas emerged. The timing of the Somerton Man's death, in the shadow of World War II and at the dawn of the Cold War, seemed too coincidental to ignore. Adelaide, near the site of the Woomera test range, was a hub of sensitive military activity. The man's cryptic code, his untraceable identity, and Jessica Thompson's strange reaction added fuel to the spy theory. Could the Rubaiyat, with its themes of finality and its presence at the crime scene, have been a signal? Perhaps the slip of paper marked the conclusion of a covert operation, or the silencing of a double agent. The absence of identifying labels and evidence of professional anonymity hinted at an individual skilled in the art of deception. Yet no intelligence agency, local or foreign, claimed him, and his purpose remained as enigmatic as his name. Others interpreted the Somerton Man's story as a deeply personal one. Perhaps Jessica Thompson was a lover or confidant, and the slip of paper signified the end of a tragic romance. The cryptic code could have been an intimate message, understood only by its intended recipient. The man's immaculately groomed appearance and the care taken to conceal his identity pointed to someone preparing for a calculated end. The beach, a serene place of final rest, may have been chosen for its symbolism. But if this was a love story, why the layers of mystery? Was it to protect Jessica, or to shield the Somerton Man's secrets, whatever they may have been? Not all theories ventured into the realms of espionage or romance. Some speculated that the Somerton Man was a drifter, someone who had fallen through the cracks of society. The lack of identification might not have been deliberate, but rather a symptom of a solitary, nomadic existence. His possession of the Rubaiyat, an obscure book, could have been a sign of philosophical leanings, an introspective man captivated by themes of fate and mortality. In this view, his death was a quiet, poetic act, free from the constraints of a larger narrative. But this theory failed to account for the meticulous removal of labels and the tantalizing cipher, leaving skeptics unconvinced. In recent years, advancements in genetic genealogy brought new hope to the case. DNA extracted from hairs in the Somerton Man's death mask suggested ties to European ancestry. In 2022, researchers identified a potential name: Carl Charles Webb, a Melbourne-born electrical engineer who disappeared in the late 1940s. Webb's link to the cipher and the Rubaiyat remained speculative, but the discovery provided a tantalizing lead. If he was indeed Carl Webb, what led him to Somerton Beach? Was it a crime of passion, an accidental poisoning, or an unsolvable puzzle? The DNA breakthrough stirred excitement, but even with a possible identity, the deeper questions of the case endure. The Tamám Shud case continues to captivate minds worldwide. The man's haunting anonymity and the cryptic nature of his belongings evoke an unsettling blend of fascination and dread. Whether he was a spy, a lost soul, or something else entirely, the Somerton Man symbolizes the ultimate unknowable, a riddle without resolution. His story lingers as a reminder of the fragility of identity and the way secrets can persist long after life has ended. With each passing year, his tale grows richer, becoming less a case to be solved and more a legend to be pondered. The Tamám Shud case is more than a cold case. It is a story that transcends time and place, inviting every generation to imagine, to question, and to wonder. Was his life deliberately shrouded in secrecy, or has time simply erased the pieces we need to see the truth? For now, the man on Somerton Beach remains known unto God, an eternal mystery etched in history.